Welcome back, everybody. It is time for the semifinals here of the June AGE Open because our top 8, well, it looks like this. We had our 8 esteemed, illustrious top 8 competitors battle it out for the spot in the all-important top 4, and now it's come down to this. We have Mark Lewis on Enigma versus Talon Stradley on New. That is going to be our feature match. And Chris Ayali, the man himself, he's exhausted. He's been working nights recently, and my man is here barely alive, but he's going to be taking on his teammate, Zach the Wall Wallach, in our other matchup. So one of those players will be taking on the winner of our feature match. How you feeling, Michael? It's looking like a couple news and a couple enigmas to me.
Yeah, that's exciting. It looks to me like the sort of favorite of the day, Zen, is out, that's exciting. I love New personally. Seeing Enigma versus New in both slots should be some good games.
And also, I mean, it was a 3-3-2 split with Zen as the 2 of, and they both fell. One to Chris Ayali on New and one to Zachary Wallach on Enigma. Alan Hong and Andrew Rudin as our Zen players both were not able to make their way into our quarterfinals, and this is the quarterfinals which we are going to be able to bring to you all. It's going to be Talon Stradley on New, our featured drafter of this top 8 pod, versus Mark Lewis on Enigma. Mark, this is his first top 8 of an AGE Open. He's been playing, I think, just for a year-ish. I remember his first AGEs last year, like truly some of his first times ever playing, and he's just been grinding. He has just been here so many times playing all of these Opens, and it's just so amazing to see someone who's really kind of come up through this hometown circuit, start to put up some results and start to really kind of see the fruits of that labor, of that practice. So it's major shout-outs to Mark. So happy for him.
And this is a huge deal. I mean, there were 48 people that showed up.
48 players at
so
this
being in the top 8 is very difficult to do.
Yeah, it's really epic, and I'm really excited to see this Enigma deck in action. We saw Talon, you know, he has a couple pick-to-pieces. He has a red pick-to-pieces, he has a yellow pick-to-pieces, he has 2 red hisses, he has a red venomous bite. The question is how much ward is Mark Lewis going to be able to put down on the board? Because let me tell you, Peter did not have a lot of ward in that deck. No, he did not.
Yeah, I know the Enigma players sometimes too play around that, pick up those juicy 3-for-7s. Not sure if Mark has a deck filled with those or if he's got a lot of the ward.
Relatively interesting and impactful, illusionist majestic. I don't want to spoil.
I've heard of some impactful majestic.
Yes. I don't want to spoil it, but if it does come up, it will be exciting to say the least.
I see.
It will be very exciting. It will be a reunion. It'll be an exciting reunion for us all. So let's go ahead and watch these players here as they finish up the shuffling. The decks are being presented, and the semifinals of the Arcane Games and Events Open Series, your June edition. Partha Mistveil Limited, 48 players are all the way down to 4. Your 7th seat and your 5th seat. This was not necessarily their seeds coming out of Swiss. This is just the seats that they had in the draft pod up there in the middle of the screen.
You don't want to put a mic on a military veteran. I'm telling you right now.
Well, Mark doesn't want us to mic him up.
Take his word. When a man tells you no, he means no.
Oh, we thank Mark for both his candor and his service here as he prepares for this game of the semifinals here at the AGE Open. What a legendary line.
That was funny. Shuffling out, getting ready.
That was funny, man. Alrighty, looks like the players are shuffled, the players are ready. It's time to dive into the action as the Mystic Illusionist tries to ward off the daggers of the Mystic Assassin. It's Talon Stradley on New, Mark Lewis on Enigma. It's time to get into the game. As the players are drawn up, good to go. Let's game.
I missed who took the die roll there.
Oh yeah, no idea. We're about to find out. We're gonna find out by whoever plays a card first.
It's like a handful of blues on the side of Enigma, and Talon Stradley going for a swing in that Mistblade.
Interesting as well about Talon's draft. The Arousing Wave was pick 3, I believe. Undertow Stilettos was something like pick 5, and that's the only equipment he was able to shore up. But the 2 best in slots, not cloaked, but man, do those put in an enormous amount of work. And Mark's just going to take the 1 here. He's saying, I maybe have some things I want to deploy. Let's see if we can cheese Talon out of his action points here and become able to play down some ward pieces. Talon sometimes sits so stilly that I think the camera glitches out. Like I'll point it out a couple later if it happens, like but sometimes he's just so deep in thought. I'm like, oh, the camera died, but he is literally just thinking. This is going to be Mind's Desire, pumped up by the Beckoning Mistblade. So this one's coming in for 2. That's going to buy the 3 block out of Mark here.
Which is fine, but yeah. I'm just vocalizing it so I don't forget. Okay. Great, so that's fully blocked. I don't have any reactions, anything else from you?
Nope.
We'll pay 1.
Pay 1 here. Looks like this is going to be.
You're going to gain a life.
Yeah, on the chain link resolution.
Yep, that's going to banish and gain life as that's a non-attack action there in the Essence of Ancestry Soul. And then now it's time for a Rising Tide, utilizing that 1 floating.
Yep, already played a blue, so it's going to get that +2. Really strong turn 1.
Coming in
Talon.
for 5. Does Mark want to take some more damage to try to represent a ward piece for later? Does he even have one in the hand? Is the question. Staring down an attack for 5.
He's probably happy to block out and just draw up if I... Wow.
The answer is no. The
takes
answer is
it.
Mark on turn
So
0 is going down to 14
He wants
here.
to build that board up, having an instant here that he's going to play in response, knowing there's no more go again. Goes
Yeah.
for the waxing.
The Waxing Spectre blue. And that's going to be it. Interestingly, so keeping a card in the hand. Wonder what that last card is here
Valuing that
for Mark. Yeah.
board highly, taking 6 points of damage and allowing 1 healing just to get that out there.
Yeah, it does have the counter, which is really nice. Maybe it was that Stir the Pot, so maybe it was something
It
that
could have been that was the best option.
Yeah, but now we do have an Illusionist Aura with a +1 counter, which means it will be able to have go again. So the first thing, we're going to activate Cosmo, the Scroll of Ancestral Harmony Tapestry.
Yeah.
Ancient Tapestry. And it's going to be coming in for this attack. I think it's going to be Ward 1 with a +1 counter. So it's coming in for 2 with go again.
Just takes it, looks like.
And now the Waning Vengeance is going to come in and join the fray, followed by a Stir the Pot. So we're going to transcend, shuffle the deck. It looks like he's most likely going to be able to come across with a Spectral Shield for 2.
And it looks like he may be doing this in response so that he can layer the Enigma ability and get that extra Spectral Shield out of the Waning Vengeance. Because it requires a blue to be pitched, and he's only pitched a yellow so far, that would be my guess. See if he thought that far ahead.
The Waning Vengeance, yeah, it'll create the Spectral Shield if it's destroyed with the blue in the pitch. I'm not sure if it's
going
to be able to...
If it's destroyed, not played, excuse me.
It's all good, but...
Doesn't make a difference.
Still would be some fancy schmancy sequencing from Mark here. Let's see, though. He has just played the Waning Vengeance, still has the action point because it is an instant.
Yeah.
So time to just go ahead and activate Enigma here. Mark took so much damage on that turn 0.
He did. I'm not... I don't know if he got back enough here. There's a good board. He's got a good board. Swinging again with the floating. Oh, it's free, rather.
Free.
Okay, so this is a pretty wide attack. I actually...
correct.
Yeah.
So Talon down to 19. Let's see if he wants to attack with the Waning... Or the Waxing Spectre. The Waning Vengeance, excuse me. No, just going to keep a card for the arsenal. Send that She back to the bottom of the deck. But after all that, Mark's still sitting at a pretty tenuous 14.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Talon here, keeping all 4 cards, has to work through the 3 pieces of ward, one of which, if a blue card lands in the pitch zone during this turn, will create the Spectral Shield, and that is that Waning Vengeance. It's going to be a pick to pieces out of the hand first. So this
Not what Mark wants to see right now. It's such a big board.
Yeah, and the damage can't be prevented. So if Mark wants to keep this board around, he's going to have to block it all without utilizing any amount of that ward on the field, or it's all going away. But I think we can see that special card I was alluding to earlier, the 10,000-year reunion in the hand for Mark. We'll see if he's able to resolve it. If so, he's going to have to put some blocks here.
Throws the Vengeful Apparition down as a block.
Let's see what else, if anything. Is he respecting any attack reactions here?
I feel like he has to.
Inducement.
Going to be an Intimate
Decides
Inducement.
not to.
So that is 1 going to buff that up to 4.
So now this attack reaction bumps up the attack by 1, and then of course pick to pieces. If you have activated an attack reaction on the chain link, also gets an additional buff. So currently this 1 damage that's coming over the top from this 3 block here will just wipe away all of those pieces of ward.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. Mark probably just figured he didn't know what was in the hand and he couldn't afford to throw down too much in front of it, but huge losses here.
Yeah, the first tenet of Chi Tide is now added, but because of the Intimate Inducement, its defense value is currently 0. Any reactions from Mark? So the 1 damage is going to come across and blow up all the pieces of Ward. Picked to pieces, looking like the silver bullet it was promised to us when we looked at the set the first time.
Timing on that was impeccable.
But currently no go again, so that's just the end of the turn for Talon. He's happy enough. He's not going to blow the stilettos. He's got a life lead, and he's wiped the board, so he's just content to let Mark Lewis rebuild. It's going to be a Spectral Manifestations.
Yep.
And
I think he's...
now this is going to be coming in for 4 with go again.
Yeah.
What does 10,000 Year Reunion say, right? You can remove 3 +1 counters rather than pay this card's resource cost.
Yeah.
So those 3 counters are going to be removed from the Spectral Shield, and 10,000 Year Reunion has now hit the board, folks. So Ward 10 on the field. If Mark is able to keep that around for even just 1 turn, he's going to be able to spend 1 resource and attack for 10.
Yeah, Talon with 4 cards to work with here. He's going to need to get through Ward 10 and a Spectral Shield. So that first dagger, Mark just going to eat it.
He's going to let the Spectral Shield eat up the first Beckoning Mistblade here. 1 point of damage. The game plan for Mark Lewis here, you've worked hard to get this 10,000 Year Reunion off the back of the Spectral Manifestations, but now you have to protect it. The Undertow Stilettos threatens to continue the chain from this point forward, and of course, any further attack reaction could go a long way from here.
He's got good blocking cards in his hand.
Going to block at least the 3 to begin.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, Talon's almost got a little smile on his face as he stares down.
We'll pay 1 to...
Oh, that's a big reaction.
It's going to be a red hiss.
At 6.
Coming in for 6. Currently no go again.
What is this?
Let's see what Mark has up his
Pitching?
sleeve.
He's got a D-react.
It's going to be a wash away. So this should be blocking for a total of 3 now, because he has not played another blue card, but he is just blocking for 6.
We're going to give it go again.
So now,
Yep.
giving it go again here.
So he has 1 more card to work with.
The question is, what is this final attack going to be from Talon?
Mark might be able to keep his 10,000.
Yeah, it's gonna depend on what the equipment is.
He needs to keep a card in hand to pitch for it, but if he's got enough block in his equipment or ward in his equipment. Red
This is gonna be
Bonds of Ancestry.
Bonds of, I believe this is
called?
Bonds
Agony.
of Attraction. Bonds of Attraction. Bonds of Agony is the Majestic.
Oh, gosh.
But this one's all good. It's coming in for 3. This one looks to banish from the graveyard, banish
He
from the top
looks
of
like
deck.
he's in agony.
He
That's
is in
the
agony.
problem.
He is certainly
Look
in
at
agony.
the art. I'm like,
I
there's no
could
way
not,
there's attraction
I
going
could
on.
not blame you. It's like freaking Buzzbolt or whatever those Arya cards are that
Throwing
aren't
me off.
lightning. Let's see. Does Mark have 3 damage prevention in his equipment suite? It looks like
Okay.
the answer is no. We are going to just have to go ahead and spend the 1 floating, put a +1 counter on the 10,000 Reunion from the Uphold Tradition to get the total of 3, just a 2 block in the Ward 1. Looks as though he's keeping his graveyard on the bottom and his banish up top to make it a little easier on Talon, but
So he keeps it around.
keeps it around. But
Ooh, this is
the
dicey.
Yeah, keeps it around, but isn't able to attack with it. Talon still has 1 more objective, and that is get that frickin' Reunion off the board.
Let's
see what he's able to do.
Mistblades and some tricky stuff coming in, just peeling the cards out of Mark Lewis's hand.
Let's see if he has another one of those prevention effects in the equipment slot. That would be rather large here.
But man, if Mark can keep this around, that's probably just it.
Well, I mean, one big attack would be huge. The question is, if he can get 2 attacks out of it, that's when it's probably GG's. But before we get there, Talon's going to see if he can have anything to say about it.
Bonds
2
of
cards left in
Memory.
hand. Bonds of Memory here, coming in for 3, but of course, lots of potential. It looks like there's a Venomous Bite in the hand as well. Let's see if he places another card in front of this. No, the answer is no for now. This is a Venomous Bite. So giving it +3 and creating the Fang Strike in the hand.
Does he have another defense react?
He's got another Waning Vengeance.
Okay.
That's going to block for a total of 6. So now the question is, oh, this is tricky because now the Fang Strike's going to pump it up by 1. Do we have another prevention effect in the equipment slot? But then is the Arousing Wave going to finish the job? We've got the Truths Retold here.
Oh my god.
That's going to go ahead and put a card on the bottom. That's now another instance of ward. So currently blocking 7 total.
Spectral Shield?
Yes, they don't share a name, right?
No.
Okay, but looks like, yeah, Talon's just going to go ahead and let this resolve.
We're cleaning,
Blocking out the damage.
we're cleaning up.
No go again on the Bonds
Oh.
of Memory.
Oh,
And that means the truth retold is going to hit.
he is swinging hard right now.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Talon just has to take it.
I will have to see, right?
Might give a card or two, but
Start finally. 11.
if he can't get
11!
oh,
And it has go again
It
because
has
it has
go,
a
yeah,
plus
it's
one
gonna be
counter.
12
He's able to
total.
come in with the Spectre
Oh
Shield
my
because it
God.
also has.
he is
because Spectre
getting
Shield
his
is
money's
free.
worth on this. It is not often you see a 10,000-year reunion make it to the point where you're swinging with it, but here it is, and you can
Yeah.
see Chris's face
Yeah,
like, oh my God.
Mark had a little smile on the face there, like I can't quite believe this is happening, but this is coming in for 11 with go again, and he's going to be able to come in with the Spectral Shield as well.
And that'll mean taking 8.
Taking 8 here.
11 minus 3.
Yeah, Talon down to 11 after
Big
that
swing.
attack.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Down at 10.
And then a follow up with the free spectral shield.
Yeah, that's just for 1, right?
Yes, just for 1.
I'll take the 1.
I'll take the 1. At the end of the day, I've already taken 8.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Talon
Yeah,
here.
he's got to get rid of that.
So the question is, what is the chest piece there? Is it the heirloom of the rabbit hide, or is it another one of those prevention effects? Looks like we do have another instant speed as well as an homage to ancestors. It's just going to be another Mistblade here. We do have the Spectral Shield that can clean this up quite nicely thanks to the Waning
Let's have a
Vengeance
cheek
pass
card.
away. Oh, how exciting to get to see that 10,000-year reunion come across for
Incredible.
11 with go again. Mark here. Now, this is when these Mistblades can really start to put in work because Ward 10 doesn't matter if it's trying to prevent 1 damage. It will still go ahead and blow up as it tries to prevent the 1. So it looks like we're just going to go ahead and let the Spectral Shield shore up the first Mistblade.
Then we will, from Arsenal, fire off Impulsive Desire. It's coming in for 3, looking for reactions and instants.
All right, firing it off from the arsenal indeed. Looks like we have another hiss in the hand if I can read the just top of that card correctly. So how much damage prevention does Mark Lewis have available to him? This Impulsive Desire is coming in for 3. If he can shore up 6 total, he's going to be able to attack again with that 10,000-year reunion.
That will
Oh.
surely spell.
Well, because no, Talon's going to be able to create a slither here. So that's going to demand
that's
another 3
very,
block.
very helpful.
Yeah. So this is now plus 3.
Yeah.
Getting over and doesn't have to play the slither yet because at the moment Mark Lewis is representing taking 3 damage, and so the 10,000-year reunion would fall away to the ward. And the question is, no blocks yet.
The Slither, giving it go again.
So now he's going ahead and giving it go again. So now Mark has another chance to react, but I don't think it is a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets it.
And unfortunately, no red Waning Vengeance there. So
Right.
the
So he
10,000
only got 14 value out of that ward.
Mind's Desire is
That's
coming in
true.
for 3, Impulsive.
Now the Mind's Desire comes in for 3.
It's looking for
Oh, shoot.
This is looking for, I believe, non-attack
Non-attacks,
actions. Yeah, coming in for 3. We do see the homage to ancestors. I think a fact-finding mission and a Waning Vengeance in the hand there for Mark.
Yeah, no blocks.
down at
He's going to go ahead and take 3 down to 10.
and banish off the top.
You got it.
Yep.
One.
Gain a life up to 10.
And Talon's going to gain a life because it is a non-attack action in that
it up.
Vengeful Apparition. So that means Talon's going to do his next card with turn with just a 4-card hand, no arsenal set up. And let's see, it looks like Mark is going to be able to come in with the fact-finding mission here. There's just going to be a 2-card 6 and setting up the homage to ancestors in the arsenal.
Makes sense.
Just coming in for 6 there.
Just 6 honest damage.
Yeah.
Talon navigating his way through that 10,000-year reunion beautifully.
Mm.
Took him a few turns, but he managed to get through with enough time to save the game. It's quite even now.
And yeah, props to Mark Lewis for navigating the offense
Yeah.
there and keeping it around to swing in for a total of 12 on that turn.
All this technology.
No, I know.
Looks like they might need help with the life total. No, look, they're figuring it out. So Talon down to 7 after taking the 3. No cards in the arsenal or in the.
I have 12 left.
Okay, sweet.
Yourself?
I have 14 and
14.
one in hand right now.
Yeah.
One in thing.
They're counting the deck sizes, of course, because that is where this game could be led to, depending on exactly, the texture of these next couple turns. No cards in the arsenal and no cloaked equipment. So the fact-finding mission, just honest goodness here.
Pitch. Beckoning Mistblade.
Beckoning Mistblade going to be coming in 4-1 with the go again, threatening to give a blue attack +1 and go again as well.
Mark just thinking about it. It's always so tricky to figure out how much value they're going to get with that on hit. It could be nothing, and it could be huge.
And right here, yeah, no blue attack following it up. It's another Impulsive Desire looking for reactions and instants.
Yeah. So Mark making the right call on the block on the Mistblade. And then
That's
blocking 3.
Yeah,
Clean.
going to buy Single-Minded Desire. Or no, sorry, Essence of Ancestry. Now it's time for a Passover and then a response with an homage to Ancestor. So we're going to make 2 Chi here. That means 1 Spectral Shield with a +1 counter on the end of Talon's turn and 1 on the beginning of Mark's turn. So that's going to be 2 Spectral Shields coming
big
in.
offense.
Yeah.
Mark's got a very dangerous deck on the attacking front. Lots of counters. Go again.
And Mark also able to, I think, yeah, gain a life off the homage to Ancestor. So those 2 Chi are going to do a lot of work on this turn.
Yeah,
Talon.
he's in a really good spot now with the way that turn.
And before Talon's turn ends, let's go ahead and make a Spectral Shield with the +1 counter.
Sorry about that. Oh, you don't have to say sorry for playing your deck, dude. That's
Mark apologizing for how nice that play was, making those 2 Chi, saying,
Sorry,
listen,
that
I'm
was-
sorry,
that was
man.
beautiful.
Probably sucks for you, but
Yeah.
Talon saying, dude, don't apologize for playing your game. I respect the game, brother. Spectral Shield, this is 2 with Go Again for free, thanks to the Enigma discount of the hero ability. And that's going to buy a full 3 block out of Talon here. Stars of Flesh headed to the blocking.
Goes ahead and makes another one. Just keep that chain going wide. Another 2 attack will be coming in shortly.
We have 1 Spectral Shield from Mysteria and 1 from the Solana, right? Solana? Yeah. Solana here. That one's going
Yeah.
to be coming in. 2 also with Go Again. And then the Wounding Blow.
Blow, yeah.
Life off of,
I did not. Yep.
Transcend.
Thank you.
So here we go. 4 more damage, threatening to put Talon down to 1 here.
If you want to go to 1, I'm very fine with that.
Yeah.
Looks like that's going to buy a second block out of Talon.
Mm-hmm.
But these Mistblades are going to do some, they're going to put in a lot of work against the Spectral Shields. We're going to have to see.
I mean, once they've already attacked, it's 3 value per Chi spent. It's actually plus the effect on the card when you transcended. I think he's pretty happy to just sacrifice these.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Talon's down to 4. Both players counted their deck size for a reason with Talon losing a couple cards here.
Ooh, and except he's got a Battlefront Bastion. This could be exactly what he needs to keep the Spectral Shields alive.
Yeah, when that defends alone, that's going to make the next Beckoning Mistblade attack significantly worse, so it looks as though that's not going to be where Talon wants to go. This is going to be a pick to pieces.
Okay, that actually cuts through the Battlefront Bastion, as
Yeah.
well. So he needs to block that.
Let's see if he wants to pump it up by 1 thanks to the Arousing
must.
Wave. Yeah, this is currently still not coming over, but the Arousing Wave would turn it into an attack for 5.
Did
because
you
it-
catch what color the pick to
Play-
pieces was?
Intimate inducement.
I think it's a red.
Okay, so it's already, now it's coming in for 5.
Now it's coming in for 5, and we get to look at the top
It's going to
4.
go over and clear that board regardless. Unless he has another defense reaction in hand. It does not look like he does. He does have another Chi, though.
Yeah. So he's putting that on because even though it's not blue, he's just getting it out of the deck. It just naturally itself doesn't
Oh,
have any
true.
defense.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
a
just
good
grab
call.
any card. It looks like he's going to just go ahead and cash in the Arousing Wave now, get the more damage across.
Blocking 3,
Yeah.
and so I will take 3.
Yes.
Block 3, take 3, lose both Spectral Shields, and unfortunately do not get the prevention from the Battlefield Bastion. So the pick to pieces have come in huge for both of these
Lot of
games for
value on
Talon
that.
here
Really big
against the
play.
Enigma.
Clearing the board as well as dealing some damage.
Unfortunately, I wish it's not up to me. There's a judge sitting right here.
I
Otherwise,
know. No, it's actually probably better.
Am I good at move 10?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. It's,
Pitching the Chi into a Spectral Manifestation. So now here's 4. This is something Talon has to give another
Threatening
card to.
lethal. And the moment that you start stripping cards with these auras, it can spiral out of control.
Yeah, I wonder how many cards are
fast.
left for Mark here. Both decks are looking rather thin. If he can keep this Spectral Shield around, it's just going to go ahead and be able to attack for 4 for free every single turn. Does he have enough cards to get him there?
Ooh.
Here's just a big Blanche, an attack for 7. Does Mark Lewis have a way to cover this up?
Sure, he wants to. If he can use all of his cards, you know what? He actually does have the stilettos. No, but if
No,
he used it, he could come in with a dagger.
Yeah,
I'll
he
just say
could.
that.
He could
That would be a
stilettos with a blue into the dagger to try to clear the spectral shield here. So that's something Mark has to be thinking of.
Yeah.
Nice tight back and forth game. Both of these top 8
Absolutely.
games have been fun to watch. 7 damage, threatening to turn off the color strips. Chris Ayali in the background there, just barely holding on to life. Just desperately trying to stay with us. Looks like he's losing the fight.
Yeah.
Just fighting his demons, and my boy is losing. All right, wait, let's get back to the game because it looks as though we're putting a waxing specter on the board to try to cover it up.
3
Yeah.
blocks, and it's good.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of ward and a lot of blocks, which
He's
means
getting
here's
so much value out of this. Free 4 damage.
yeah, this is what Mark can do now. If he has enough cards in the deck, he can just protect the Spectral Shield, and here's 4 for free. Talon has to give another card.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing we also saw from Talon's draft, he has a bevy of 3 blocks. Just so many of these 0 for 3 stealth attacks.
Got a few more turns where he can only give 1 card, but soon he'll have to start giving 2 if he can't get rid of the Spectral Shield soon.
Yeah, so that's another Desires of Flesh headed to the block. So now 4 cards total with the arsenal available to work with. First, it's going to be, I'm sure, the Beckoning Mistblade. Threaten the Spectral Shield immediately. And it looks like Mark's just going to go ahead and create a Spectral Shield with the Enigma ability here. Turn that no block in the hand into at least a block 1.
Yeah.
At this point, he's identified the game plan. No, we're just going to go ahead and pitch into the Waning Vengeance because this is going to not only block the 1, but create a Spectral Shield.
Yeah, that's
the
an
back end.
efficient use of that card. Kind of like a, 1-costed Battlefront Bastion.
So it does still have some floating in case that becomes relevant.
Inducement to beckoning again.
So Beckoning's going to go
Oh,
off.
sorry.
This is going to die.
Yep.
Spectral Shield.
Sure.
Yep, and then now another Beckoning Mistblade. That's going to eat the second Spectral Shield. So 2 cards left to work with. Looks like 1 is a Chi, however. So
He may not be able to keep that Spectral Shield. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll follow it up with a Rising Tide. This is coming in for 5.
This is coming in for
5,
5. Yeah, he's not
If he
going to be able
has
to
a
keep this
Chi in his
around.
arsenal, this could
No go again.
be a bit of a blowout.
Chi in the arsenal?
Yeah, if he can transcend and
Oh,
bump
gotcha.
that up.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and crack
It's coming in for 6.
Undertow.
He's going to crack the Undertow here, get a Slither. So it looks like it is an attack
Um,
or something in the arsenal he wants to use.
and then anything else in this chain link before I move on?
Nope.
And then from Arsenal,
Wow.
this guy coming in for 3.
You got it.
Okay, so yeah, he's going to go ahead and have to lose the Spectral Shield here. No blocks. Mark Lewis down to 5, losing another card off the top of the deck. It is an instant. Ooh, so Talon's going to gain a life here
Huge at this point in the game.
because instead of this Spectral Shield with the +1 counter coming in and threatening lethal, now it's just going to threaten to put Talon down to 1.
This was not banished.
No, because it was blocking. It didn't have stealth.
So this is going underneath. This is being pitched.
I'm drawing up for my turn. That's going to be played.
And now the Chi in the hand there, the last thing for Mark, is going to come in. And once again, now this doesn't threaten lethal, but Talon is still going to respect it, put a 3 block in front of it.
Oh, no, I don't. That's a full block. Okay. That's right. I reset.
Yep, just 2. Blocks it out.
Looks like, are those the last 4 cards that Mark Lewis has access
Wow.
to? Yes, indeed. This is what I've been trying to pay attention to. Does he have enough cards to allow the game plan to actuate and stay alive to protect the Spectral Shields? Couple Chi left in the hand here for Mark.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of Chi there, but not a lot of blocking cards.
Desire Mind. This is coming in for 1.
That's just going to go ahead. And, oh, look at that. So he's going to go ahead and just play that Waning Vengeance out, trying to block out the 1. Now Talon here is going to preserve Tradition, put a card from his graveyard on the bottom of the deck, and transcend.
Yeah.
Going to put a pick to pieces for his next
Makes
hand.
sense. So he has 2 cards in deck right now is what
Yep.
it looks like. So they are both down to the wire, but this transcend could do a lot of work.
So he's going to activate new. He's going to,
He has a ton of instants in his
yeah,
banish right now.
yeah, probably a whole lot of ward that can be deployed. Let's see. What is accessible to Talon? We're still in reactions, I believe, so that Intimate Inducement might threaten to come over and really change the dynamics of this turn. Talon next turn is going to have available, or I don't remember what the card on top is, but it's going to be, I think, 2 cards, the pick to pieces, and that Chi.
Mark just praying that he doesn't have a lot of good blues to be used against him right now.
It comes in with a +1 count.
Yeah.
So just Ward 1 on that as far as Talon's concerned. But Ward 1 is pretty useful when you're at 3 life and no cards left in deck.
So interestingly, Mark is going to have a fair amount of...
Wow, was that it for Talon's turn?
Yeah, he had no action point. And it looks like it was actually just that one winning vengeance.
Oh my gosh.
That was available. So this is going to be 2.
I actually don't know how this is going to go.
So this is going to be 2 with go again, into 2 with go again, into 1. That's going to be the turn here, right?
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. There's 1 Chi in hand, but is the pick to pieces plus the attack reaction that's in the arsenal, is that going to do it? But I'm curious because Talon's also running out of cards rather quickly. And that's taking the 3 block out. We're making another 2 damage Spectral Shield. It's going to come in for 2 with the go again. That's going to...
The ward eats it.
Ward 1. Talon's going to go to 1. And then the Spectral Shield, Talon's going to go to 1. So the 1 life gained just a couple turns ago.
A whole card.
All right.
Let's see if the pick to pieces is enough here.
And my turn.
Yep.
Now the quest, yeah, okay, I'm actually so fascinated because Mark has a bunch of chi, right? So he's going to be able to continue to make Spectral Shields.
But the question is, if the pick to pieces
doesn't kill
goes
Mark
up to 5, does his reaction give +1?
It does give +1. So yeah, this
I
should just
think
be the
that'll
game.
it.
Yeah, this should just be the game.
Oh my god, exact lethal.
With the preserved tradition, because this is the red pick to pieces. As long as he kept that attack reaction, which I believe he did, he kept it in the hand as well.
Yeah.
It's coming in for 3.
Okay.
Any blocks?
Nope.
Intimate Inducement.
You got the game.
Yeah, and that's the game.
Wow,
+1
lethal.
with the Intimate Inducement and +1 thanks to the pick to pieces. So the preserved tradition there is exactly what the doctor ordered. That was the last thing that Talon Stradley could do to keep himself alive in the AG Open top 8. He moves on to the finals. What an incredible game back and forth from both players.
It's got to be one of the closest games I've ever seen in draft.
Yeah, that was very, very exciting. Very, very close. We got to see a 10,000-year reunion resolved. We got to see it played. Both players played exceptionally well.
Yep.
And Talon, just that final preserved tradition to come through and
the
shore up the
that he
game.
got out, it was crazy how he just scraped that together for the sneak win.
Sheesh.
Wow.
What a game. That was sick.
Wow.
Well, just like that, 48 players here at the AGE Open Mistvale Limited Extravaganza, and it's all coming down to 2. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break because I don't even know right now who our other finalist is. So we're going to find out just momentarily who between Chris Iali and Zach Wallach went ahead and is moving on into the finals to face down our featured drafter, Talon Stradley. No one we've shown drafting has lost a game yet in the pod that we've shown them. So
Seems like we're pretty good at this.
We're doing something right, I guess. Happy for Talon moving on. Congrats, of course, to Mark. Congrats to all of our top 8 competitors, even those who have fallen. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break before we move on to the finals. We're going to see Talon take on his mystery competitor. Don't go anywhere. It all comes down to this.